Welcome to the first ride-along video with me showing you through the process of me creating things at my house. Today I've got this little audio mixer that is for my gaming headset that just sort of mixes through game chat and volume and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to make a little bracket that goes to the side for easy accessibility and adjustability whilst driving in my sim rig. So here's a little sketch of roughly what I'm going to create, and then I'll show you through the process of what I do. It's all entirely self-taught, so if any of you have skills in this field, you're probably not going to like my processes, but this is what I've taught myself to do and it works good enough so far. Probably could be much more efficient, but it's all part of the process. I'm sort of the mindset of why spend hundreds of dollars on things that other people have made when you could spend thousands of dollars on equipment and software and hours of time to learn a new process in order to make things for yourself. That's the logic that I have. But it means that you can create things that just simply don't exist. So there's probably not many people that have the exact same gaming rig as me and the same headset and setup. So this is just simply not something you can buy. So that's why I get to make it, and that's something I enjoy doing. As you can see, this drawing process is sped up. It takes me quite a while. I know there's some people that I've watched on YouTube and stuff that are amazing at this, so hopefully my skills will improve in time. Some things that I make, I put more effort into taking better measurements and stuff to start with, so I can have a better attempt at getting it right the first time. This one I haven't so much, sort of just get the basic measurements and a rough guess at where I wanted things to sit, and then we'll just make one, see how it goes, see what adjustments we need to do, and probably do it again, and maybe even again, and then potentially again. But anyway, you get to see what I do, see how I do it, and hopefully we end up with something good at the end. You can see here I'm getting a little bit tripped up on making this flange where it mounts to the rig. It's kind of an odd shape and an odd position relative to the other piece, so you can see me stumbling through a few little obstacles trying to get that how I want it, but we get there in the end. So sometimes you have to redo it, like what I've done here. I use a program called Shaper 3D, and I find that quite a nice platform. Graphics are nice, all the features are pretty easy, and there's lots of help, there's lots of tutorials and things to learn how to use your CAD software. It's not particularly cheap, but no good things are. But you know, it is what it is. There's been heaps of random things that I've made over the past year or so, whilst getting the hang of this 3D printer and all the drawing stuff, which I'm sure some people would enjoy sort of seeing what I've done and how I do it. So I'd like to make some more of these videos and just get a gauge of what sort of parts you find interesting and what more you want to learn about it as we go. So this little piece here is going to be on the inside of the mounting flange. It's going to slot inside of the hole that's on the frame, just to basically centralize it and give it a little bit more stability. Want to sort of locate it nicely. Actually, I put a little bit more effort to measuring that out so I can get it close to it right the first time. But there's still minor changes. So once I've sort of happy with that, chuck it into the slicing software, which gets it ready and formatted for the 3D printer, send that off to the printer, and then we're away on our first print. Here's my messy printer, there's the rubbish down the bottom of it. Here's my dusty screen, we dust her off and look for our latest project that we've just sent through to her. So there's some cool previous things I could show you another time. But that's our one, that's how long it's going to take, and we get it going. So I know that this print's going to not be perfect, so I've gone for a fairly coarse or like large layer profile, so it's just, that makes the whole printing process faster, but it makes the finish kind of bad. As you can see, those are the supports that you have to print in order to print things higher up in midair, and that's my little finished thing without the support. So we take that over and do a test fit. It's okay, but that doesn't quite locate how I intended, and the position's too close to the shifter. So just take note of changes we need to make. The mixer fits in perfectly, so perfect that it doesn't need anything to secure it. It will just sit there and lock itself in nicely. So that's where I want it. Back to the drawing board. So it needs to go back a bit, needs to go in a bit, needs to go up a bit, and that means we just have to remake the wee bridge. A bit of golf chat popping down. But this is a pretty quick process, and hopefully it'll work better this time. At the flange you need to adjust those little edges a bit because there's some welds inside there that are actually kind of hitting. And then we can just tidy up these edges a little bit and make it all look nicer before sending it off to the printer again. So yeah, there's that process. I'm going to go for a more normal layer thickness, make it a fraction slower but hopefully slightly better finish. See how that goes. So there we've got the next one. Thing fits on perfectly as it did before because I didn't change it. The flange locator still doesn't go in quite as snug as I anticipated. Turns out there's actually some big chonky welds up underneath, so I need to fillet those edges to make room for the welds. Then I just thought I'd tweak it back a little bit, make a little bit more room between the mixer and the shifter, and then I think we would be close to perfect. So this one I've got higher hopes for, and I will print it in a finer layer thickness, which is about 0.1 of a millimeter, which will make it take about 2 hours longer. So this is going to take about 6 hours overnight, 6.5 hours. So I'll get that print cranking and check it in the morning. And good morning. Here's the finished product. That sits in there nicely, and the locator works better too, so that it can actually support itself without being bolted in, and I'm happy with that positioning. So I'm going to tap some holes with this little impact driver tap bit. This is sped up, it's not as savage as it looks. Then we'll get that screwed on, and we'll be ready to get amongst it. So that is 3 out of 4 screws put in. One of them was too hard to get at, so I'm going to do that another day, but probably not. And here it is in action. The mix is nice and close to the shifter, so no dramas when having to adjust things mid-game. So that's basically the process. Let me know if you enjoyed that, and if you'd like to see me on some other projects, because there's many a different thing that I've created with 3D printers. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, and help us with future videos. Thank you.